Welcome to That's Canon, a podcast talking about the Canon film series and other similar movies. This is episode 35, and I'm your host, Phil.
And I'm Greg.
And Greg, we watched Ninja 3, The Domination this week.
We finally did it. We finally got to it. A big name Canon movie. Arguably, I think bigger than Breakin', bigger than Death Wish, maybe not, but still pretty big.
I would say the movie post fact is bigger than Death Wish. In the moment,
you think so?
In the moment, I think that this was probably ignored, forgotten about, and then over time, because of just how absurd the movie is, it became bigger.
So this is like a tortoise and the hare situation where Death Wish came out strong. Well, I guess Death Wish 2 came out strong. People knew about it. They knew Death Wish was a familiar franchise, familiar actor. People liked it at the time, but Ninja 3: The Domination kind of crept up on its cult status.
Yes.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
So Ninja 3: The Domination is made by or directed by Sam Furstenberg, who is a Canon legend. Yeah.
I dare say.
So he did Revenge of the Ninja, the one before this, then he did Ninja 3, and he will do a few other movies in the future, one of them being Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo.
That's right. I feel like you probably mentioned this in the last episode, but that was one of the first comments I had was like, he directed other things that we've seen. I just couldn't remember which ones. So he didn't do he didn't do Enter the Ninja, right?
No, he did Revenge of the Ninja.
Okay, Revenge, and then this one.
And then eventually, and then there's a couple more Canon films that he'll be doing. The movie was written by James R. Silk, who is so popular that he doesn't have a Wikipedia entry. The film brings back Sho Kosugi
fantastic
in a co-starring role. So he's been demoted to co-star, and I honestly think that he also has way less dialogue than his other two appearances.
Surprise, because he was the bad guy. He was the evil black ninja in the first one, Enter the Ninja. He didn't really speak much there because he didn't really show up until in the very beginning and the very end of that movie.
Yeah.
But then he was the headliner in Revenge of the Ninja, which we talked about. And I think he did a pretty good job. I was disappointed to see that he had, like you said, been demoted to co-star at best.
I know, right? Like he's in this movie. I would say it's a 90-minute movie. He's probably in it for 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, tops. I mean, almost entirely in the latter half.
Oh yeah. And then the main star is Lucinda Dickey from Breakin'.
Yay!
Now, she actually filmed this before Breakin', so this wasn't Canon going, "Hey,
really,
Lucinda, Breakin' was big. Do Ninja 3." She actually did Ninja 3. And then did Breakin'. It was just the way the release schedule worked out that Ninja came after.
So that totally ruins my theory for how they cast her in this because my original thought was that, okay, she's a dancer, which means she's pretty physically fit and she would probably take well to, and she apparently learned a little bit of breakdancing for that one. She could learn maybe a little bit of martial arts for this movie. Like I said, she's pretty fit. She would work well here. And like she's got the body for it.
She does.
And by the way, she got ripped for this movie.
Yes.
Like visibly so, which is awesome. But that's impressive though. So maybe I guess that logic works the other way around too. You know, if they film this one first, they like working with her. She picked up the moves pretty easily, and like I said, she was in good shape. Hey, you're a dancer too. We've got this breakdancing movie that we're doing. Why don't you come back for it?
You handled the ninja sword really well, Lucinda. It's time for you to dance your ass off.
Now start spinning on your head on a piece of cardboard.
Exactly. So, the movie it came out on September 14th, 1984. So we're about there in the mid 80 range, which, like you said, is coming up to be peak classic Canon.
Peak Canon, yep, golden age. We're coming into it.
The movie has, again, a really great Canon logo. It has the lens flares. The artist was doing a great job. The movie opens. I thought the sun was setting, which was really odd as well because people are preparing to go golfing. And I was like, oh, I guess
Oh
they're
yeah.
night golfing. I was like, this is going to be really weird. And then I thought about the thing that I said in my head, and I was like, wait, no, the sun's rising. I am really stupid. Uh,
I'm, I'm an idiot. That doesn't make any sense.
but we see a man. He goes off into the desert. There's again, this is like one of those moments where we don't really know where the film is set. I almost think it's like the Nevada, California area, just the way that
Yeah.
it looks.
Yeah, I mean, all we've seen at this point is desert, so we really don't. I mean, it ends up being like Beverly Hills, like a Southern California, but we don't really know that at this point because all we're seeing is just desert and cliffs and rocks.
Exactly. But as the man enters the cave, the title card, Ninja 3, the Domination comes up, and it is very cinematic.
I am so happy to hear you say that because I actually wrote that down specifics. Like, wow, like they freeze frame on it a little bit, but it's as this mystery character is walking to a cave and he's got this like great backlighting on him. Like there's
Yes.
sunlight or I assume it's sunlight kind of like streaming in through the entrance of the cave and it's all dark and you see him silhouetted on the entrance. It looks awesome.
Yeah, there's some smoke. I mean,
Some smoke, yeah.
best shot of the movie right
Best shot
here.
of I feel like I mean my memory is a little fuzzy for the other ones, but maybe the best shot in all of the ninja movies we've seen thus far.
It's I would almost agree with you if we didn't see a kid get ninja starred in the face in the second one.
Touche, sir. Touche.
But the cinema is almost immediately ruined as this man comes up to a rock and moves it to a backlit table full of ninja paraphernalia. There's, ninja stars and his sword and stuff like that, and immediately destroys the illusion of ancient mysticism,
Yeah.
ninja magic type stuff, right?
Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying. It's kind of like it almost looks like a Batman kind of gadget, like a Batcave thing where there's
Yes,
weapons hidden in the walls. Yeah.
that is perfectly put. Then we cut back to people preparing to go golfing. Uh,
Golfers.
the ninja guy is getting prepared in his cave, as well as it's cutting back and forth.
Yeah.
At one moment, he pulls out those caltrips, right?
Yeah, the little spiky things you throw on the ground to
And
hit tires and feet.
he like puts them in his ninja robe, and all I can
Oh
think
my
of
god.
is if he falls down, he's fucking dead.
No freaking way. I cannot believe I have a note saying exactly that. I say in my notes here, word for word, this is what I wrote. What if this guy falls on his chest while carrying those pointy caltrops?
Yeah, it's insane. It's
Right? I
also I
mean,
was in the corner of your place while you were writing this.
I was gonna say, are you here now? He's in the building,
I'm using my ninja skills.
right? But seriously, yeah, like that'd be pretty painful if you fall on that, and like fall on your face, and you just like stab yourself on the sternum with those pointy
Oh
things.
yeah,
Eesh.
that's a trip to the ER. The
Yeah,
the ninja guy is also wearing. It's not black. It's not dark blue. It's like a gray ninja uniform
yeah,
outfit, and it looks great blending in to the desert dirt area that he's in right now. But then it falls on its face as he transitions to a lush green.
yeah. The sun is well up at this point. It's bright, and it's all like that bright green, highly manicured golf grass.
Yeah.
Sticks
And
out like a sore thumb.
it's also weird because he gets into this ninja garb, and the ninja garb is supposed to it's supposed to help you be more stealthy and
Mhm.
harder to see. He immediately just walks out on like the 10th green. and, and as his target hits a
Oh
golf
my
ball,
god,
he grabs it and just smashes it,
awesome.
which shows his ninja strength.
Yeah.
Uh, I will say that this is a 10-minute fight scene coming up here. And this guy goes all out. He's using like the blow dart, he's using ninja stars, he's using his sword. The movie blew its load so quick and so hard in the beginning here that the eventual sugar crash that you get after this action scene is so hard.
I'm surprised to hear you say that. I think we're already differing on opinion here. Because while I agree, this opening is probably the strongest of the three ninja movies. Because it's a lot. It keeps going for all, but it's good. It doesn't feel like filler. I
Interesting.
think I'll tip my hand on the final opinion here a little bit, and I'll say that I didn't get bored afterwards. I was consistently entertained, but I will agree with you that this opening action sequence is awesome.
One of my favorite parts of the action sequence is the target that the ninja is going after swings his golf club at him, at the ninja, and he blocks it with his hand at the pole of the golf club, and it just wraps around him. And
Oh yeah, that was cool.
he just like kind of gives him a look, and then he stabs him.
So was he like? I mean, we really don't know. Achille, he was like on an assassination mission or something. Did they say who the guy was, the golfer that because he had bodyguards with him, so he was someone important.
He was someone important, and I don't think they said who the target actually was.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't really matter, I guess, ultimately.
Right? I mean, I guess this is just a setup to show that he is a ninja and he's
Yeah,
here to kick ass and take names.
exactly. They want to show off all the like the other movies before. They want to show off all the ninja gear, the stars, the swords, the flips, the kicks, all that good stuff.
Exactly. The cops, or the I guess not the cops, but the the golf patrol
The
finds
golf patrol.
they find the dead body and they call in the cops and like there's been a murder. Get the cops. And the cops immediately show up.
All of the cops.
All of the cops. You got cops on motorcycles, you got cops on the car. I thought it was awesome the part where the ninja's on top of the cop car, they're driving, and the old cop who's driving is like, shoot him, and they just
Oh
start
my
shooting
God.
the shotgun.
Were you seriously not in my basement when I was watching this movie?
Oh.
That is literally the only highlight for this entire sequence. Well, I mean, again, it's all awesome, but I highlighted one specific thing, and that's what it was, where the old cop is like, get him, and they shoot at the ninja through the roof of their patrol car with a shotgun.
Yeah,
And it was so awesome.
it reminds me of Terminator 2, when the T-1000's on the back,
Oh yeah.
and like, John Connor's shooting him and so is Sarah Connor.
Yeah, that's
Just
awesome.
just very cool. And at one point the ninja, he punches through the roof of the car and like stabs the old guy. Which
So cool. I didn't think about that. That's a really good comparison, like the T-1000, where they're just trying to get him off the roof of the car. It was vaguely horror movie-ish almost. Like
Yeah.
this ninja is clearly superhuman.
I like he uses a couple other techniques that we haven't seen in some of the other ninja movies. Like he has like the grapple hook that he uses to swing off the car. He uses it to shimmy up the tree, and then he gets onto a helicopter and he starts killing people in the helicopter. Uh, the highlight, while the car part was definitely a big highlight, I thought it was awesome that he put the ninja star on his foot and then kicked it at the pilot of the helicopter to kill him. I was like,
Yeah, I
that's
forgot about
awesome.
that. That was awesome because he was hanging on with his hands. So
Yeah.
he had it prepped in between his big toe and his second big toe. And he just he like kicked it at the guy's face and threw it at him. That was awesome. I forgot about that.
Eventually the cops do overpower the ninja. The cops have the power of guns. The ninja has the power of ninja stuff. But I will say this, that the ninja at one point probably takes, I'm not even exaggerating here, probably like 50 bullets. He still gets up and like ninja slices people with his katana.
His sword, yeah, the katana. I mean, at this point, he has dispatched probably like a dozen police officers, at least.
Yes.
He's just decimating this police force. And yeah, like there's a part where near the end of the sequence where they're like in a circle and they're just unloading their clips and shotgun shells into this guy. And he's still throwing ninja stars and throwing kicks and punches. Like he just takes so many bullets. It's astounding.
It is. And it all comes to a head when he does the ninja vanish technique, which somehow allows him to transport or teleport like a foot underneath the ground.
Yeah, he does. He just buries himself in like half a second.
Then we transition. We see Lucinda. She's a lineman. That I believe that's what the profession is called, a lineman.
Yeah, I thought so too. I actually
Sh
wrote down like there aren't. I don't think there's that's not a lot of female line workers out there.
yeah,
Underrepresented, I think.
I thought it was a really cool, unique job for her to do. A lineman is someone who works on uh, electrical poles and telephone poles to make sure things are working. As she is high up, she oversees the ninja kind of scrounging through the bush, trying to get
Yeah,
away.
stumbling around.
Her curiosity piques her as she enters the bramble, and she comes upon the dying ninja who is speaking Japanese to her. She doesn't really understand, obviously, but
Right.
there's there's mysticism in the air because her
Ooh.
hair mysteriously blows when she picks up an object. Uh, it also seems like the ninja guy is trying to kill her. He's trying to do like two things here, it seems. At one point, he tries to kill her, and then next, he gives her the sword, which causes the mysterious wind to blow again. And he
Yeah.
starts saying things. And if you have the subtitles on, it just says speaks in Japanese.
Oh my God. You actually, I was gonna, you read my mind. I was like, I should have gone back and turned on the subtitles to see if they had messed up and given us what he was actually saying.
No, no, because that would take effort.
Yes, that's true.
As he hands her the ninja katana, she sees flashes of all the police officers that was responsible for shooting him, and the
Hmm.
ancient Chinese magic air, ancient Chinese,
Ancient Chinese.
ancient Japanese mysticism air blows again,
There we
and
go.
Lucinda Dickey's hair just is looking
Whoosh.
beautiful in the California sunset. As we transition to the
Really
police
painted a
department,
picture with those words.
I'm trying to. We transition to the police department. With a bunch of chuds, a lot of mouth breathers in this scene, and
Yeah.
I will say, I thought this guy was gonna ruin the movie.
Oh God, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he's. I mean, in a police department full of people who look and act like assholes, he's the biggest asshole in of the bunch. He's
Yes.
king asshole.
So Lucinda Dickey is giving her breakdown of what she saw to a police officer, and the officer is kind of giving her shit for making the police report, kind of like who saw this, just kind of, I guess,
Yeah, like,
causing static,
are you
right?
sure? Are you sure you didn't remember anything? How do you not know? How come you didn't see anything? You should, like, yeah, giving her shit for what little information she did give.
Then N then up comes swaggering. His name is
Asshole cop.
Asshole Cop. Billy Secord is the character's name, played by Jordan Bennett, who didn't really do too much after this movie. But
Good.
good. I will say he plays the role I assume was written for him extremely well, because he starts hitting on Lucinda Dickey extremely hard,
Oh my
asking for
God,
like coffee, wanting to go on dates. Like, she's reporting a murder, and he is,
yeah. Right? I
yeah,
mean, is this standard operating procedure for this horrible I mean, I guess it's completely in line with all of the other like canon cops that we've seen in the movies thus far in this podcast. Like these are, I mean, they're just like bottom of the barrel, worst human beings in the world. He's hitting on this poor woman who's like probably mentally scarred from having seen someone die in front of them.
what upsets me, Greg, is that I will never get to see a film called Canon Cops, where they assemble all the
Canon
cops from
cops.
canon film history into one movie,
Oh
where
my
Charles
God.
Bronson gets to play like four different cops. Um,
I would watch that movie.
you get so confused, like, I don't even know what Charles Bronson this is supposed to be. This is the
I don't
10 from,
care.
he's like, this is the 10 from Midnight one.
Bunch of caps shooting zombies, shooting ninjas, giving out information about ongoing investigations.
The 10 to midnight Charles Bronson cop constantly would look at evidence and go, he uses it for jacking off.
He's using it for jacking off. Oh my
Anyway,
God.
so
People who haven't listened to any other episode of this podcast listening to this one are so confused right now.
exactly. they kind of foreshadow a little bit here as Lucinda takes a look at the cop. She gets a flashback of the murder of the ninja, but
Right.
he is surrounded in shadow, so she can't really get a good look at Billy.
Yeah. Clearly having memories that aren't hers and they're kind of fuzzy at this point.
Lucinda is the ideal girlfriend wife because she has her own arcade cabinet in her home. How
In
cool is
her,
that?
I know, right? She has probably the coolest 80s style warehouse apartment,
Yes,
wherever it was. Yeah, it's awesomely decorated.
100%. The aesthetic is 80s to the T. And I will say this, there is a painting art print in her house. Did
Oh
you notice
yeah.
it?
The kind of black and white one with the lady with the sunglasses
The
and the
one that looked
lipstick.
like it came from a Duran Duran album?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, that is a Patrick Nagel art print. He was very famous for Art Deco pop art. He is the one who made that, and he designed the cover of albums for Duran Duran. Here's a little
No
bit of
kidding.
interesting information for you.
This is a
Patrick
deep dive.
Patrick Nagel died in February 4th, 1984. Uh, so Lucinda Dickey's character does aerobics in this movie, right? She's like a line person and she is like a aerobics instructor.
Yeah, like during the day, kind of teaches some classes.
Patrick Nagel died participating in 15-minute celebrity aerobathon to raise funds for the American Heart Association in Santa Monica. His autopsy determined his
Ooh.
cause of death was a heart attack by having an undetected congenital heart defect.
Wow. That is an eerie connection to this movie.
Ninja.
Very strange.
Uh so
Did he get ninja assassinated?
maybe. Um and over time Patrick Nagel's artwork kind of fell out of vogue because a lot of people just kind of didn't really like it after a while. It was very popular in the 80s, but throughout the 90s and the early 2000s, it
That kind
kind
of
of,
tacky.
yeah. But now it has found a resurgence and his artwork actually goes for a lot. So if you're listening and you have a Patrick Nagel, you might have a little bit of money.
Go look in your attics, folks, for those ugly 80s paintings that you've had off the wall for 30 years.
Exactly. Then we transition to the 80s, the most 80s gym ever. Lucinda Dickey is doing her aerobics class. Her stalker policeman boyfriend Billy is in there doing it. And so are beefcakes that can't quite get into an Arnold Schwarzenegger film because they're just not that beefy.
No, oh my God, this is like it's the sleaziest thing ever too.
Yes.
There's the aerobics class going on right by the where all the weight machines are. And the movie is so sleazy, even the characters in it know that it's sleazy because we just get these shots of the aerobics class going on, and then we intercut with those are shots of these guys being just like gawking at the
Oh, yeah.
class. It's the most hilarious thing.
They might as well just be cranking it down right there.
Yeah.
The aesthetic of the gym was also disgusting as well. A lot of shag carpeting,
Ooh,
which was
yeah,
really weird in a gym, right? Like
all the
carpet.
sweat, it must be
Yeah.
nasty.
So as the class ends, Lucinda Dickey leaves and she sees a woman getting accosted by a group of rejects from the YMCA village people. And she sticks up for the woman, but unfortunately the gang is trying to assault Lucinda Dickey. They're being very sexually aggressive because it's a canon film,
Of
but
course.
Lucinda Dickey has the magic power of the ninja inside of her as she quickly dispatches the group of goons. Billy, her stalker cop boyfriend, offers to drive her home, but then is like, "Hey, I might arrest you for assaulting these people."
We have to before we go into what becomes an even weirder scene, can we just stop and appreciate the fact that while all of this is going on,
Oh
but
yes,
Lucinda Dickey is basically is about to get raped by this gang of thugs in an alley behind the aerobic studio. There's like a crowd of people standing around watching it happen, including this police
You
officer
know
who
what?
does nothing to intervene.
I didn't even think about that, Greg. I never went, wait, he's a cop. He should stop this.
Why isn't he? He's just standing there, mouth agape, watching it happen.
I think maybe he was like so turned on by how strong and independent she is that he's
That's
like,
true.
I don't
He is a
know.
canon cop. That is on brand for a canon cop.
Canon cop. He pulls out his handbook. It's like step one, don't do anything. Got
Seeing a
it.
rape happen, stand there and stare at it.
Yeah. Oh,
Canon cops.
canon cops. So as they're driving, he's kind of giving her shit for assaulting people. She's giving him shit because he's creepy.
As yes, he is.
Billy pulls over and is essentially like, get the fuck out of my car. She goes, do you want to come over to my house? I don't have any coffee because it's really bad for you, but I have vegetables. Well, Lucinda, you're stupid. Coffee is not bad for you. It's the stuff that you put in coffee that makes it bad for you. Coffee itself is absolutely fine.
That's that Starbucks syrup and 10 spoons full of sugar.
Yeah,
That'll do it.
that's what kills people, not boiled beans. He kind of looks at her and smiles, and they go back to her just amazingly 80s aesthetic apartment.
Yep.
Lucinda takes a shower. She comes out. She's got a towel around her. She's in her underwear. Billy looks at her as if he's never seen a grown woman partially naked. His mouth goes like a gape, and he does like that kind of like, yeah, exactly. If he was a cartoon character, he would go Naruga.
Eyes popping out of his skull, tongue unflapping out of his mouth.
I think this is the only part of the movie, and this is a stretch saying this, that is unbelievable. Because Lucinda Dickey was never really interested in him throughout the course of the entire movie so far, and it's been like 30 minutes, and now all of a sudden she's on
board with this guy, which is I see what you're saying. Like when you see supernatural ninja stuff, like you're expecting weird and out of the box craziness, you sort of buy into it. But in this case, you expect them to sort of behave like normal human beings, and why she is suddenly into this asshole cop, I have no idea. Very unbelievable.
You put it very tactfully. A lot better than what I was about to say. So Lucinda and Billy, they start making out, and in what I would assume was supposed to be the height of eroticism for this movie, Lucinda takes a V8 juice can and pours it on her neck, which then goes down on her unexposed breasts, and Billy gets harder than the Empire State Building itself, and they make love as he licks the V8 juice off of her. Greg, nothing turns me on like cold tomato juice.
Vegetable juice. Yeah, Bloody Marys. God, who thought that was a good idea?
I don't know. That's such a weird.
That's like it. We've talked about this before, but some of these choices that are made, it makes us think it's like there's like an alien directing it.
Yeah.
And they're trying to like approximate what they think is sexy human behavior. Yes, pour the vegetable juice on your naked chest. That's what you humans like, right?
All I can think of is if she doesn't clean that up, she's going to have ants on her in the morning.
Do you want ants? That's because this is how you get ants.
Exactly. Such a weird choice.
Oh, man. Very weird.
But they're in their post-coital slumber as windows start opening and her closet starts to illuminate and there's smoke. And unfortunately, Gozer the Gozerian is not inside of it. Yet it's a flying magic ninja sword.
Sword on a string.
Yeah, you totally can't see the string either. That's a lie. Lucinda grabs a hold of it, and by the power of Grayskull, she flashes back to the dying ninja in the desert. She starts shaking it. I don't know if it's because of ninja power or like it's the sword is just freaking out, but it's shaking all over the place. Billy wakes up. he is as hairy as a fucking wolf man. And he goes, wow, that's a really cool sword.
Once again, you have proven that you've been sitting behind my shoulder the entire time because I had that exact same reaction when he gets out of the bed and we see the like shag carpet that is his chest hair.
Yes.
I was just astounded. He is the hairiest dude I've ever seen.
He needs to fucking shave.
Everything, just the whole thing.
Yeah.
Shave it.
And his face. Just shave your face off.
Just off. Right, please.
We're at the 32-minute mark, and Sho Kosugi finally fucking shows up.
Yay.
Wearing a awesome eye patch. And now I know I usually do the trivia afterwards, but Sho Kosugi, that was his idea. His character wasn't originally written with an eye patch. He just thought it was supposed to, just thought it looked cool.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Because it looks awesome too.
It does.
And they even gave it a little bit of backstory later.
Yes, it looks great. We see that we transition to the next day. Lucinda, she's down in the sewers doing sewer stuff when Billy the cop pulls up with his partner, old man.
Old other cop, shoot through the roof cop. Oh wait, no, he died.
Exactly. Lucinda gets a flashback. He's one of the cops that killed the ninja. This spurs something inside of her as she steals the truck that she uses for work and leaves her coworker in the sewer. And she's like, he's like, what the hell? And she drives
come on,
away.
Man.
We then see Lucinda dancing, thrashing in her apartment for some reason.
Yeah, really, really weird hard cut there because we think that we're gonna get like a car chase at this point, and it just kind of ends, and we cut to her doing aerobics in the apartment.
It makes me think that it was either a miss edit or they needed something to get to, I guess, excuse why Lucinda is in ninja garb, right? Because Lucinda calls Billy, she's like, I don't feel right, and then we transition, the house starts getting all poltergeisty. Her arcade cabinet, the bouncer, starts to try to suck her in like a Tron like future. She gets all these lasers and just like trippy 80s action here, right?
I think this is a really, I mean, it's a little cheesy, but I think it's a really cool effect. The way that they've got kind of like smoke and strobe lights kind of like billowing out from where the screen should be. And then they just like blast her face with a laser machine.
I don't disagree with you. That part looks amazing. It's when the flying sword comes out, that it kind of loses me. And then again, she grabs the sword and she's just shaking it. And then she looks into the camera, dead into the camera, because you can tell that she's a little evil now. Her makeup's a little bit different.
The magic sword with the power to change makeup.
Yeah, her hair is kind of blown out a little bit differently. Yeah, you can just tell that she has an evil aura about her.
Yes.
Meanwhile, well, I guess not meanwhile, but transitionally, Lucinda goes into the Bat Cave where the first ninja was in the beginning of the movie, and she finds the ninja garb. And I will say, she doesn't look ridiculous in it.
No, I think that is a testament to her like physicality. Like I mentioned in the beginning, she clearly did a lot of work to like beef up a little bit for this role, and she, like you said, she wears the ninja garb pretty well.
Yes. She eventually gets to the house of the old cop that she saw that triggered her PTSD, and I guess this old cop lives in like a shithole house, but with really nice stuff inside of it.
Yeah, it was the whole geography of it. It was like in the middle of the woods, and it looked like just like a shack.
Yeah,
it was really strange.
But he's got like a pool table and some nice accoutrements in it, but the place looks like a shithole. Anyways, Lucinda,
it's all stolen evidence. Some guy got murdered on that pool table.
Yeah, Lucinda quickly dispatches them. And then that evening, Billy's there with the rest of the cops. They're cleaning up the crime scene, and Sho Kosugi is one of the onlooker gawkers. And they kind of like lock, I wouldn't say eyes, because Sho only has one in here. They lock eye. And then we transition back to Lucinda and Billy talking. Billy really needs to put on a full shirt. I can't stop looking at his hairy body. But
well, we've got a new quote of the week there, folks. I can't stop looking at his hairy body.
Lucinda starts complaining that she has like mysterious bruises and that she's losing track of time.
Yeah, having like that kind of that missing time you get in UFO movies too, where you just I blacked out and I just for hours and I don't remember what I was doing or where I was, and I came back and I had bruises on me.
Billy doesn't seem too concerned about this, but I'd be like, yo, you got a fucking brain tumor.
Yo.
And then she goes to the doctor, and the doctor's like, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, you can see that there's like x-rays and stuff like that.
Right.
And they do talk about her exceptional extrasensory perception. And the doctor says your appreciation for Japanese culture.
Yeah, this was easily the quote of the week
Yeah.
for me because of how bonkers there's so much to pick apart in what this doctor, this medical professional says to her. And I'll read the quote. She says, "The psychiatrist you saw says there's nothing out of the ordinary aside from your exceptional extrasensory perception and your preoccupation with Japanese culture." Oh, okay. First of all, this is a real doctor talking about ESP.
Yeah.
Like, who is that psychiatrist? Like Peter Venkman?
It's an insane stretch for
such a huge stretch
for like an actual factual medical professional going like, yeah, you have ESP.
Aside from that telekinesis, that spoon you bent in the exam room, you're totally normal.
I can I can forgive or I can believe in slight, like, if you're empathetic enough, you can like feel the emotion of someone else in the room with you, right? That's just because you can read like the body language and stuff like
facial
that.
cues, all that stuff. Yeah, and which can border on being seeming supernatural because of just how naturally tuned some people are to that.
But to go that I have spidey sense, no.
And have a doctor tell you that you've got that with a straight face, which, by the way, we've not seen any indication that through this whole supernatural experience she's had with that dying ninja that she can suddenly read minds, right?
Exactly. She gets the flashbacks of the death, but not that she can read minds or tell the future or
any ESP thing that we're used to from other movies. Yeah, which is totally crazy. So that's one bit of crazy in that sentence. Then the doctor talks about your preoccupation with Japanese culture. What a man, shots fired at weebs, I guess.
I know. She has a ninja sword, but it's not like she's coming in wearing Japanese style clothing or like talking Japanese.
Yeah, nothing in no way is her interest in martial arts apparently unhealthy in any way.
They should have, if they wanted this line to be more believable, it should have been later in the movie and over time show her being more Japanese in what she does, right?
They could have leaned into, I think that the thing that they would have sold that is leaning into the fact that she can suddenly speak Japanese, a language that she did not know like a week ago. Having that kind of crop up and not so much a preoccupation with Japanese culture, but more like having memories and skills and language abilities that you didn't have a week ago out of nowhere.
Character moments, make sense, right?
Yes.
Lucinda in the beginning, she's not a good cook, and then like partway through, she's making the Wolfman an authentic Japanese meal, and he kind of goes like, "I didn't know you could cook," and then she kind of goes, "Neither do I."
Yeah, little thing kind of peppered in up to this point to show that she's slowly becoming not herself.
Exactly.
That would have been cool. But no, we just get a throwaway weird line from the worst doctor.
Yes, but it gave an audible laugh, so it's okay.
Oh yeah.
Lucinda goes to the police station to see Billy. But instead she gets another ninja PTSD vision of this Burt Reynolds type cop who has his arms around two beautiful ladies. This guy is
Ugh.
probably like 50, and these women are maybe mid 20s. Cops don't make a lot of money, so I have no. He must be like stealing drugs from the evidence locker. This
Right?
is all conjecture. This is not in the movie. This is just a way for me to justify how this old man is pulling these young women.
Yeah, why are these attractive women all over this chud of a cop?
Yes.
We just cannot possibly fathom.
Just around the corner from the police station is a spa, and that's where the police officer and the two women go. And so does Lucinda Dickey, who comes in and seduces the old man. The two other women are very offended by this. They're like, "That's our man, bitch!" And
That's what they
again,
seemed to say with their eyes.
yes, he's a cop. He's not pulling that much money, but Lucinda is the sexy assassin at this point.
Mm.
She has her ring has this detachable thing, and there's a pin on it.
Yeah, it's like
And
it looked like a big pearl or something. When she
yeah,
pulled the pearl off, it had like a really sharp needle underneath.
and obviously it's poison, and she kind of just taps him on the back with it.
Boop.
And yes, perfect. And he goes dead, and Lucinda scrapes the chest of one woman, and then she uses like a string. I don't know where I can't remember where she has the string, but she strangles
Oh
another
yeah.
one.
Maybe like did she pull it out of her hair or something?
Something like that. Maybe it was like
Maybe.
holding up her hair.
Yeah.
Uh she leaves and then enters Sho Kosugi out of seemingly nowhere.
He just
And
knew where he knew where the action was.
exactly. And he kind of looks at the dead bodies, and you can just hear his internal monologue going, yeah, yeah, dead bodies. Uh
Yep. Just as I suspected.
we cut back, and Lucinda's exercising. She's getting very manic. She even confesses to Billy that she can't control her mood, and the doctor says there's nothing wrong with her, but she knows that there's something wrong with her.
Right.
Um, yeah.
They've exhausted all of the conventional Western medicine. So what do you do, Phil, at that point?
You go see James Hong,
Oh yeah.
which
James Hong, Lopan himself.
I was really happy to see him in
Right?
this movie. And again, out of all the things in this movie, his set piece, his area is again like the second most cinematic thing apart from that
It's
opening
so
shot.
cool. Aside from that, it's probably got to be my favorite set of the whole thing because it's really kind of dimly lit with like candlelight, and the set itself looks really cool. It looks
Yes.
like the inside of a temple. It's got, I don't know, are they like bamboo mats on the walls and lots of really cool statues and masks, creepy masks on the
I was
wall,
about to
and
say, as you pointed out,
yes,
super creepy masks.
very creepy masks. Just visualize the creepiest mask you can think of, dear listeners, and double it in
Yes.
creepiness.
Um, they chain Lucinda up by her arms and her feet and her neck and her waist because they're gonna essentially like ask upon the demon that's inhabiting her body, right?
Right.
James has a pipe and he's like, yo, smoke this. And
Let's do drugs.
exactly. They start doing like chanting and ancient mysticism. Candles are kind of going up in flames.
Right.
And before we see Lucinda actually turn into Pazuzu, I was like, I wonder if this is going to go the other way and it's going to be like a flim flam, you know, kind of like it's just all of a show and they're not going to actually get anything out of this. But
Oh, like you think it's all like placebo, basically.
yes,
Yeah.
but they
I'm
don't.
glad it didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's like a microsecond of a thought because immediately it goes in and Lucinda, she's pale. Her hair is like has streaks of white in it. She's
Mhm.
fucking possessed by a demon.
Oh yeah, we
And
go full. You mentioned Pazuzu. Like we go full exorcist at this point, and it's awesome.
and this is the only point of the movie that I paused it to look at the time because I was like, there's no way we're at the end already. Because I thought we were gonna get an exorcist style ending where they just the
Oh,
last part of it is an exorcism, but no, we're at 51 minutes, so that's
2/3
impossible.
roughly. Yeah.
Yeah. But James Hong is doing like chants in Japanese, and again, it's in subtitles. It just says speaks Japanese.
chanting in Japanese. Oh, bummer.
Lucinda breaks free of her chains and she starts doing, except for her waist, and she starts doing like flips and shit.
She turns into a crash dummy
Yeah.
and starts spinning around like a toy.
And it looks cool. It's kind of corny, but it looks cool.
Like I don't want to diminish this whole scene. Like it is, I think you mentioned in the last episode when you described this movie how it's kind of like action horror. I wasn't getting any horror vibes whatsoever up to this point, but like this is a genuinely creepy kind of exorcism scene
Yeah.
with all of the sound effects and the smoke effects and the weird kind of like vocal distortions that they do with Lucinda Dickey when she's kind of chanting as the possession that like the demon that's possessing her. It's all really well done.
I think it's because it comes out of left field, right?
Yeah, you were not. Yeah, no way. Were we expecting this kind of scene?
Yeah.
Maybe at the end, like you said.
But James Hong's character kind of breaks it down and goes like, yeah, she's got this ninja inside of her, and the only thing that can kill a ninja is a ninja.
I cannot believe we got that line again. I think that was my quote of the week from Revenge of the Ninja.
It was.
Yes, it was so I got like an audible like, oh yes, like kind of comment out of me as I was watching it. I'm so happy.
As James Hong says, the only thing that can kill a ninja is a ninja. We cut to Sho Kosugi on top of a police station. He's like distracting the police officers and doing martial arts, and he gets to use the ninja star, which, remember, from Revenge of the Ninja, he was never trained by his ninja master to know how to use that. So this is obviously not that Sho Kosugi, but a different one because he used the ninja star,
his belt buckle ninja star, which is a great gadget. More Batman kind of things. Jeez.
Exactly. He dispatches the police officers but doesn't kill them. We find out that they're in the morgue area of the police station, and as he opens up one of the freezers, it's the ninja from the very beginning of the film that's all shot up, and you can see the dozens of bullet holes in his dead body.
This like Swiss cheese motherfucker is like, you could practically see through him. He took so many bullets.
It's insane. Then we get a flashback of something we've never seen. It's Sho in, I would say, Japan, and his family is getting murdered by this ninja.
Yeah, it was almost like, for those of you who have seen the new Mortal Kombat movie, it was basically that scene.
Yes.
In the beginning.
But it was like 10 seconds.
But it was 10 seconds and it was a flashback.
Yeah. So Sho, he don't kidnap dead bodies. You don't abduct them either. He steals his dead body and he drives it to the hills of the California desert, where there's, for some reason, a fucking Japanese temple.
Yeah, like a nice little map painting, actually.
Yeah. It looked really cool. Good.
Yeah.
Then we cut back to Lucinda Dickey and the Wolfman in the police station, and Lucinda sees two.
I'm the cop, wolf cop.
Exactly. Lucinda sees two other police officers, and she gets the flashback thing again. But Lucinda is looking very, I guess, like unhealthy at this point.
Pallid,
she's very pale.
She's very pale. Yep.
She's got the streaks in her hair, and Billy is a dumb motherfucker because he literally just saw her
like
demon out.
Yeah, demon out with speaking in tongues and flipping around and like really creepy supernatural shit, which he's apparently kind of put all behind him. He's like, yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go get some lunch.
Yeah, she's just sitting on her desk eating yogurt and stuff. So yeah, again, it's just really weird. Lucinda goes home, and it again, like out of nowhere, because I guess she just did see the cops, but her apartment starts to do Japanese magic again, right? There's smoke and lights, and Lucinda is proactively trying to stop it. She doesn't want to get possessed by the spirit of the ninja.
She knows the game at this point. She knows that when her closet doors start to shake and light starts to come in front of the refrigerator, she knows that the possessions are coming.
I will say I appreciated all the practical effects of objects moving in her apartment and like even large objects like the fridge moved across the floor.
Oh yeah.
Like the practical effects of what they were doing, it does look really good. It doesn't look hokey. It doesn't look cheap, right?
No, I think this isn't this the one where it looked like they actually did one of those things where they built part of the set on like on something that could tip. So they tip the whole thing. So she's like dangling from the side of her bed and
Yes.
she's being sucked towards her closet. That's been, all illuminated at this point. It looks
Poltergeist
really good.
style.
Poltergeist style. Yeah.
It does look really good. In fact, she does get sucked into the closet poltergeist style. But again, like it looks too good for the movie that it's in. It just does. And so, anyways, we cut to uh Billy. He's at the funeral for one of the police officers, and he sees Lucinda's truck, and it has ninja weapons inside of it. And he looks really confused because remember, he is dumb.
Like all of what he's seen so far is no indication, even though he's seen other ninja weapons in her apartment at this point.
Yeah.
He's just, oh, what's this? I didn't know she could ninja star.
He is a dense
Oh.
motherfucker.
Wolf Cop, no, know what ninja star is.
Exactly. We see Lucinda kind of skidding around in the background, and then she's in this really small patch of trees, and for some reason, it requires her to use like the grapple hook and what do you call it? The thing like you can like tether between the two objects and slide.
Oh, yeah, she's using the grappling hook as like a zip line,
Zip
kind of
line.
like jumping from tree to tree,
There you
treetop to
go.
treetop.
Uh, as the honor guard is about to give their 21 gun salute to their fallen brethren, Lucinda Dickey gets her bow and arrow ready. And as the gun
Awesome.
fires, she shoots one of the cops in the heart. I don't know if Lucinda was specifically waiting for the gunfire because arrows are virtually silent.
I did think that it was kind of a cool effect,
It was
or
cool.
a cool idea rather.
But everyone starts they start freaking out. People start running. Lucinda is picking off more people. I will say, like, it does look cool. As the cops start skittering everywhere, she starts to dispatch them off of their motorcycles, and she's kicking. I don't know if these cops are superhuman or if the headstones are just weak as fuck, but they're using their billy clubs and they're hitting headstones and they're just like exploding.
Yeah, it's like they're made out of talcum powder or something.
It's
You're right.
so weird. But and it does look like Lucinda is doing all of this too. She looks like she's doing a good majority of the action because you can definitely tell when they transition a female body to a male body, even if it's behind clothes. It's just bulkier.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, my only thought was that either she's doing it herself or they got a similarly sized like female martial artist to stand in for her to do that stuff. But it looks convincing either
Yes.
way.
She's like climbing trees and shit. It looks really cool. Then out of nowhere, Sho Kosugi shows up. She just appears from out behind a tree.
He knows that one eye of his, he can see action from miles away.
They both like from a standing position just jump over like an 8-foot fence and they start having an action scene in a dilapidated or being built house. It is a very good action set piece.
It's like it reminded me of the house from Home Alone 2.
Yes,
where he does all the traps and everything, where there's like the walls and the floors aren't quite finished completely. Like there's floorboards and stuff missing, which they used to great effect when I think at one point Sho Kosugi he like gets kicked and he falls through the floor to the floor underneath, which is an awesome stunt.
Yes.
And then to get back up to keep fighting Lucinda Dickey, he jumps up through the ceiling back to the floor that she's on. So cool.
He eventually takes off Lucinda Dickey's mask. He sees that it's a woman and there's kind of some confusion. And then the cops show up and they arrest Sho Kosugi. In the background, you can see Lucinda Dickey's truck drive away.
Just the worst cops.
so Billy and Sho, they start having a conversation, and it almost seems like they're having a conversation from a previous conversation, like they're continuing something here. Sho is immediately up on Front Street. He's like, I'm from Japan. I'm here for revenge. I need to kill this ninja. And the only way that
Right.
you can kill a ninja is with a ninja. And
Oh, yes.
Sho has, as they start transporting him away into the cop car, he spits up like a metallic object,
Oh, yeah. It's not a key. It's just like a little piece of metal.
and
Yeah.
he stabs two of the cops in the neck with it. And he's like, "Oh, they fell asleep." And then he beats the shit out of the other cop, and then he gets the key and he frees himself. Right?
So easy.
Billy shows up to Lucinda Dickey's place. He sees the ninja garb. He sees the ninja weapon. He pulls his gun, ready to kill her, but she's like, "Hey, I don't know this stuff. Like, I don't know what's happening." And he's like, "There's a
Right.
guy from Japan who's here to kill you. Put these handcuffs on." And then she goes, she gets the ninja vision, and she finally sees Billy was one of the cops that also was the part of the murder.
The murder squad, the cop murder squad in the very beginning. Yep.
Is it would you call them a murder squad? I mean, the ninja was like a psycho.
Yeah. I
Am I
feel like there's
am I
there's murder on both sides here.
am I supposed to feel bad for the ninja in the beginning, or am I supposed to feel sympathy for the cops being picked off?
I think the problem is that the way that these cops have been characterized, I feel sympathy for none of them, nor the
Exactly.
ninja. They're kind of all assholes.
I 100% agree with this. Because she had the ninja vision, she turns into the evil ninja. She grabs her ninja sword, and she almost kills Billy, but she turns back into Lucinda just at the last moment and drives away. And there's
Right.
a lame little car chase going on. I don't know. Car chases, if there's not like shooting and action going on, it's kind of lame. It's a limp
Yeah, it just
noodle.
looks like people driving one behind the other. I'm glad that they didn't do too much with it here. We don't come to a ninja movie for car chases.
Exactly. Shows up at the Ninja Temple in the hills of California. So does Lucinda Dickey for no reason. But she is able to to see the dead body
No.
of the ninja that possessed her. And Sho and Lucinda have like a conversation here where it essentially breaks down to, you're possessed by this ninja. We need to get it out of you. The only way to get it out of you is by me beating you.
Yeah, I need to beat you to force the spirit out back into its original body so that I can then kill it.
Exactly. Uh, Thus ensues the worst fight scene in the entire film because it's over fairly quick.
Yeah, compared to the longer, more satisfying one that you got in the beginning and kind of the ones you get kind of throughout the movie. This is surprisingly kind of one of the more disappointing ones.
But it almost saves itself at the end when there's this really great optical effect as Lucinda Dickey is defeated. Her body starts glowing blue, and the spirit of the ninja actually flies out of her.
Yeah.
It looked really neat. Goes into the body of the dead ninja, and the sword flies into his hand. And now we get like a 12-minute action set piece between Sho Kosugi and the ninja, in which the ninja now can use magic. He possesses the
Heck yeah.
other Japanese people in the temple to start attacking Sho. Sho is able to showcase his great martial arts skill. He is just fantastic to watch.
Oh yeah, definitely. It has to be, if not the best, one of the best, like actual martial arts talents in this movie. Because the way watching him fight off these crowds of the monks is just awesome.
And I think it's a little bit better than Revenge of the Ninja. Revenge of the Ninja had the issue of just kind of like, now they're on top of the roof of the building, right? And it just that fight seemed to take forever. There was a lot of like fake outs, and remember it was like a dummy at one point. There was like multiple dummies on the roof for Sho to like fight and stuff.
Yeah, it's not the best, but they did a little bit better of a job concealing it in the dummies in this movie. Like they don't hold on them as long as they do in worse movies where you can, oh, you see arms and feet flopping around. They tried a little bit harder in this one to conceal it.
Exactly. Billy shows up and he finds Lucinda Dickey unpossessed, and they start making out, which is good for them.
Perfect timing. Yep. Yeah.
uh Sho and the ninja are fighting again, and again it looks really cool. There's just one moment where I was like, what the fuck? And I understand like the dead ninja has magic, but he kind of like makes this hand movement thing, and he starts spinning like a top, and he actually burrows into the ground.
Yeah, he just turns into like a he was it turns out he was like a power drill the entire time.
it
He just
was
drills himself into the ground. It's awesome.
it was such a like what the fuck moment that I didn't know what to think. The earth actually starts shaking, and it does seem like a Power Rangers moment. Like, let my
Yeah.
creature grow.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if he and Sho Kosugi just turned into two giant Godzilla-sized ninjas?
That'd be amazing.
Oh man.
Um Sho does fall off the side of the cliff, but he has like a grapple hook, and he hooks it onto like the edge of the cliff. As he's about to climb up, the zombie ninja grabs a hold of his leg. There's a little bit of a struggle, and then Sho just stabs him right in the top of the head, kills him. Sho comes up from the cliff, and he's like, killed him later, and he just walks away.
Into the sunset.
Billy and Lucinda start making out, and the ninja disappears. Credits roll. Thus is Ninja 3 The Domination.
Yay.
What a movie. I think this is definitely one of those times where after talking about it with you, I like it more.
You appreciate it a little bit more.
Yes.
I'm so happy to hear you say that because I mean this is like it's a solid 4.5 out of 5 for me.
Wow. Four and a half.
Yeah, the only honestly, it was basically a perfect B movie for me up until the very end, which I felt like the fact that the fight scene with Lucinda, the possessed Lucinda Dickey, was kind of cut short, but also they didn't like. I feel like it should have been her to do the final blow. Like she should have had more to do in the final bit because like she was possessed. Like she should be the one getting revenge on the like she should be the one to defeat the demon.
It
I would have
should
loved to see that, but
it should have been like Lucinda's the show is on the ropes. Linda shows up,
yeah,
the zombie ninja goes, only a ninja can kill a ninja. And she's like, I am a ninja.
I am in it. Yeah, something cheesy like that, but it would have made more narrative sense. I feel like to have her be the one to land the killing blow. But honestly, like that's all nitpicking. There's just so much to enjoy here. So many weird things like the exorcism and the weird like drills thing. Funny bad moments, genuinely cool cinematic lighting. It just is like a complete cheesy B movie package. I
So,
loved it.
are you ready for something?
I am always ready.
The original ending of the film had Christy actually killing the Black Ninja instead of just stabbing him in the final cut. She would have become a true ninja after gaining this knowledge of the Black Ninja, according to Lucinda Dickey. This would have completed her character's transition from the beginning and middle of the film. When they
What?
showed it to audiences, they hated it.
What?
Yep.
That those audiences are idiots. That would have been so much more satisfying.
Yes.
She was the protagonist of the entire thing, and she's like a victim of this mind meld that the bad ninja did in the beginning. She's been possessed the whole time. Like she should have been the one to sort of like avenge herself at the end there.
Yep.
Sho Kosugi should have been the Obi-Wan Kenobi ninja who is secretly helping her throughout the whole movie and then dies near the end but bestows his power on her in a good way enough to like defeat the bad ninja.
So they reshot it for Sho to kill the evil ninja and her to kiss Billy the cop.
Ugh. They legitimately all of the things that I hated about the ending, the things that made it not a 5-star for me, are the things that they added in reshoots.
I think it's one of those things. That's how movie studios work, right? They show a movie, they get people's opinions, and if there's multiple comments about something and they're negative, they're gonna go back and redo it.
Yeah, they just focus grouped it to death. I mean, be honest with me here, Phil. Am I wrong? Like,
You're not wrong. That is the character's arc.
thank
Uh,
you.
Lucinda should
Okay,
have been
good.
the one. That's her character arc, right? It's again, I don't want to bring up The Last Jedi, but
But actually,
like John Boyega's character should have been able to sacrifice himself. That's his character's arc. He realizes that he has something to fight for and something to die for. Lucinda Dickey's character throughout the entire movie was on her way to become a ninja, and then for it to undercut it at the end and essentially go, no, you're not. You need Sho to do this. Yeah, it's kind of a shitty thing to do, but it's not
yeah.
surprising in an 80s movie.
No, I think you're right. I mean, at the very least, it's not surprising because they're they just take away all of her agency by not letting her be the one to end it.
Yep.
And it just, yeah, you're right. Not surprising at all for a canon movie. But still, I will shit on the ending, fine. But overall, it was just a very entertaining movie. Lots of fun. Everything you want in a fun cheesy B movie.
It is definitely a sit back, relax, enjoy, fun time. There's enough like what the fuck moments to make you laugh, and there's enough action to keep you invested. It has everything that a canon movie should be and shouldn't, right? Because it has the
Yeah.
forced sex and awkward big American movie moments, but there's also parts that
Sexy V8.
yeah, there's also parts that just work. So
Yeah, but I think like that's I feel like what we're dancing around here is the fact that like this movie has earned the sort of the notoriety as like the classic so bad it's good kind of canon movie legacy that it has.
yeah,
Because it clearly like there's a reason that this one has that kind of reputation, and it's got all those weird elements, but it's never boring. It's both good and bad in good ways.
I give the movie a 3.5 out of 5 after a retalk with you.
Okay.
It loses half a point immediately because there's no Pee Wee. He never returned.
Oh, Pee Wee the plantation guy from
Yes.
the first one. Oh man, I forgot about Pee Wee.
Who wants a cockfight?
Who wants a cockfight? Woo!
But I mean, again, this is a first watch for me, and it definitely lives up to, I guess, all the hype and the discussion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think this is the not since Joe and maybe 10 to Midnight. Has there been a movie that I actually feel like I want to go out and buy a Blu-ray of this? Like I want to own this and watch it again.
Let's see here. Was there?
Did they do like
Oh, there is a
Shout Factory?
yes, there is a Shout Factory release of
Okay, I
this.
thought so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe a nice quality rescan of the original negative. Maybe. Hopefully they did it justice. But yeah, I actually feel like I want to own this one.
Scream Factory re-released the film in a collector's edition Blu-ray on June 12th, 2018 with a new transfer and additional supplemental materials.
Heck yeah. Oh, so actually that reminds me, there's a question I wanted to ask you. When we watched this on Amazon Prime.
Yep.
Through the subscription, so it was free-ish. This was 4:3 aspect ratio for me.
Wait, was it?
Yeah. Did you not notice?
No, I didn't. Are you serious? It was 4:3?
Go back and look. It was not full widescreen, at least not for me. So that's what I'm wondering. Like, either that's why I wanted to ask you. Like, did I just watch a different version, or was it shot and released as like that's how they natted it?
Whoa. How did I not notice this?
Are you gonna go back and like click through? Like, you have to sanity check me here because I
It
mean,
is 4:3.
okay, good. I'm not crazy.
Whoa, that's really weird. I didn't notice that at all. I don't know why. Usually, immediately I see stuff like that, and I'm like, "Oh, vomit."
Yeah. Well, and then that was gonna be my point, is that the movie is good enough that things like I mean, we were so desensitized to 4:3 back in the day, but nowadays, like that aspect ratio sticks out like crazy in the age of everything is being widescreen. But that's why I wanted to ask, like, did they shoot it that way? Because I can sort of appreciate if when they restored it for HD, that they didn't do that annoying thing where they crop it to widescreen because that's just what audiences expect.
I don't
I'm
know. That's
I'm
kind of
curious what the Blu-ray is now.
same here. I would be very interested to see what that Blu-ray is, if it's actually pan and scan or if it's like widescreen. How the fuck? Attributes, collector's edition widescreen.
Hmm.
It has
So
a
that's interesting. Yeah, maybe the version that's on Amazon wasn't their quality rescan of it. Like they maybe they updated I don't know, like an old TV copy or something cut
That's
for TV.
so weird. It just blew my mind.
It's the Berenstain Bears effect
It
or whatever it
is.
is.
I could have sworn I just watched it and then I just like clicked it again and now it's 4:3.
Do 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 do
That
do.
is a X-Files moment right there. Damn.
Huh, blow your mind a little bit there, yeah. But either way, like I don't care either way. Like I still would love to rewatch this movie. So regardless of how the Blu-ray is, I think I might go out and buy it.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I would be very interested in seeing I will be interested to see a widescreen. I don't think it's gonna enhance or bring anything else to the table, but I definitely could see myself sitting down and rewatching this. I could
Yeah,
see
for
myself
sure.
sitting down and rewatching the entire trilogy.
That was gonna be my next question: is did they release the first two on Blu-ray? Did those get like a proper HD remaster?
I believe the first one did. I think it's the second one that's kind of
Hard
like
to find or something.
harder to find. Oh, it's right there. It's 1749.
Perfect.
So yeah, you could sit down and watch all three ninja films
The
back
Sho
to back to
Kosugi
back.
trilogy.
And I will say it's probably because of him. He is such a good presence on screen. I'm very surprised that he actually didn't go on to do more stuff
Yeah,
after
it
all
is
of
kind of a
this.
shame. I think, like you said in the beginning, I think it's a shame that he didn't get the top billing that he got in Revenge of the Ninja in this one. I mean, I know this would have been pretty progressive for an 80s movie, but I would have loved to see him be the cop.
That would have been a
And
good
any
twist.
yeah, like have him be a more main character, give him something to do. You know, have him actually be someone who can defend her. And I don't know, I'm just kind of spitballing, but yeah, he's enough of a talent that you wanted to see more of it, but didn't get it.
He does have a couple other films after this one. The next one, I mean, he gets top billing in it. It's called Nine Deaths of the Ninja. It doesn't look like it's gone too far. It's on Amazon for VHS tapes, but maybe I can try to scrounge up a copy somewhere and we can do another Sho Kosugi film
That'll be
eventually.
awesome. We'll have that on the back burner for when we have a string of bad comedies or something that we
Yeah,
want to just get a break from.
exactly. But there's no comedy in our future. And what we're about to talk about is serious. It's dead serious. It's fucking
Um,
war coming up.
what is it good for, even?
Absolutely nothing except for Chuck Norris films.
Oh my god!
Yeah, Rich Evans in the house. The war's not over until the last man comes home. Mission. I just fucked it up. I sounded like fucking Sean Connery.
Mershing.
Missing in Action. Missing in Action, the 1984 American action film directed by Joseph Zito, starring Chuck Norris, is our next film.
Yes, our first Chuck Norris movie for
Yes.
the podcast.
Uh this is the first time I've ever seen this one. I have seen a few Chuck Norris films, mainly the Delta Force series, because that was played on USA Channel all the time in the summer. And the summer in Florida is too hot to do anything, so you just stay inside and watch B movies all
Inside
day
and watch
long.
movies. Are those also canon movies?
I don't think Delta Force is. Delta Force came
Okay.
out in, let's see here, 1986. Oh my God. What? It's distributed by the Canon Group. We will be
Oh
watching
yeah,
the Delta Force in our future.
yeah, boy. Can't
Um,
wait.
so yeah, that's our next one. Now, this one, do you have an HBO Max subscription?
I do. Yes.
That's where you're gonna watch it. It is not.
Interesting.
That is where it's available right now. HBO Max. And I know
I think
I say this a lot. I think I'm gonna have Jackie watch this one with me. This is actually a
you
proper
think.
movie.
More proper than Ninja 3? Get out of town.
This one actually made a profit.
Touche.
So it's Chuck Norris. I think it has enough draw to it, right? I can be like, if she's in the mood for an action movie, I can be like, hey, let's watch this.
Yeah, that's true. I think he's probably the biggest name that aside from Charles Bronson, probably the biggest, most recognizable name to modern audiences, I'd say.
This is Chuck Norris in his prime. We get the falling star that is Charles Bronson.
True. Yeah. We caught him at the tail end of his career. Still great movies, but yeah, this is the like you said, this is peak Chuck Norris.
Yes.
I can't wait. Missing in Action.
Missing in Action is our next one. So, well, I mean, do you have anything else?
No, I think I'll give another shout out to the quote of the week, which you'll play now.
Now.
Medically, you're a very fit young woman. No evidence of any abnormality in the brain. No tumor. You have a strong heart. Your diet is better than average. You are under severe stress, of course. But otherwise, Dr. Bowen, the psychiatrist you saw, says there's nothing out of the ordinary. Aside from your exceptional extrasensory perception and your preoccupation with Japanese culture. No harm in that.
We just heard it.
Wow. That sounded great. So weird. ESP. I love it.
It is weird. It's such a weird thing. It's like one of those things where they wrote the script and they're like, it's not like science fiction enough. We need like science fiction words. Right?
I mean, I feel like that's that whole exorcism scene felt like that too, or like that maybe is, the satanic panic was sort of getting big and they wanted to throw that in a little bit, something like a possession. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that line was just a throwaway bit of pseudoscientific nonsense that is just what audiences are into now, and just throw it in.
Exactly. Interesting. Well, if you like what you're hearing, please subscribe. Send us an email too at that'scanon@gmail.com. That's canon, CANNON @gmail.com. You can subscribe to us over on YouTube as well. And yeah, send us an email. I'll read anything that you send me, even if it's mean.
Anything.
And remember, go ahead.
No, I just had a weird vision of someone sending us like fan fiction of the podcast.
That'd be awesome.
Is there a weirdo out there who's shipping us right now, Phil?
I will read /fiction. I believe that's what they call it. It can be a very special canon film episode.
We a dramatic reading of your creepy fan fiction.
Oh my god. You as me and me as you. That's how we would do
it. Okay, please don't send us that. We'll read anything except that.
And remember, since we said it,
that's canon.